What's up, Dreamfasters, and welcome back to the last part in my Secret Clans mini-series. So, for the last two videos, we've been discussing my favorite theories, but now it's time to hear from all of you. So for part 3, I picked 4 of my favorite fan theories from the comments section to cover. So let's get started. The first theory was brought to my attention by Michael Fields, and this is perhaps the most interesting fan theory that I've heard yet. This theory suggests that if a secret clan exists, they might be far more radical in their approach to dealing with the Skeksis than you can imagine, and far darker, which is obviously very fitting for the Dark Crystal. But what if it is possible that instead of the gelfling attacking the Skeksis directly, they choose instead to harm the mystics? We have to remember, this is not the timeline of the original film, where the mystics are alone, at peace, and in hiding. Every gelfling now knows that they are in the Valley of the Mystics, and not only are they unnatural and less understood creatures, but they are also very easy targets. Could it be possible that with the knowledge of their connection to the Skeksis in hand, the gelfling decide to end the lives of the mystics, hence also ending the lives of the Skeksis? It may be cruel, but we are talking about preserving and saving Thra. The next theory I have comes from Abi Pratama, and they had a great idea about the Gartham. We all know that there is a distinct possibility that secret gelfling clans exist, but as I talked about in part 2, that could also be true for the Skeksis, and in particular, their most feared weapon, the Gartham. I'm sure there will come a time when regular, unaltered Gartham will be enough to quell the dropping population of gelfling. But what about before, in the midst of an all-out war? Thra has one of the most diverse ecosystems ever, with harsh deserts, impossible swamps, and thick forests filled with all kinds of dangers. And Skektek knows well he will have to outfit his Gartham with specific abilities and armors to deal with it. We could see swimming Gartham, centipede-like Gartham, Gartham that can climb trees, move rocks, or have elongated legs to traverse their environment like their predecessors the Aratham. Or better yet, what about flying Gartham, like giant winged beetles? What an amazing battle it would be to see some sand skimmers going up against those. Our next idea comes from Joran Tenebris, and they suggested another theory that I've touched on previously, the survival and continuation of the gelfling after the movie's timeline. If there are to be any secret clans, the most likely area of the timeline in which they would emerge is after the gelfling's extinction. Perhaps not all of the gelfling disappeared. Maybe there were some who went into hiding before the war. And this is entirely possible, because, for example, the Drenchen, who are the only gelfling who have gills and can breathe underwater, might have hidden themselves away deep within the secret waterways of Thra, possibly helped by Ursan the swimmer. We know that at the time of Jen and Kira's rule, the gelfling have somehow repopulated. But how? Well, once again, the answer could be hundreds of Drenchen that have remained underwater until the time to resurface is right. And with them, they would harbor ideas for a new world, based on kept wisdom from their old world. Now, for our last theory today, we have a similar idea coming from Spencer the Frankenstein. And just like the last theory, they think that many more gelfling could be in existence right now. Because there's one thing that we always tend to forget when discussing the lands of Thra, and that is the edge of the map. We have to keep in mind that beyond what we always see is a vast world, an entire planet of land, and the map that we know is simply a small section of that. Think about how big the outside world could be. As far as we know, gelfling only exist in the lands we're familiar with. But who's to say that more gelfling don't exist across the entire planet? And I'm not talking about settlers or colonists. They might be entirely new existences of gelfling altogether, just like the firelings, who look, talk, act, feel, and live differently. They could be taller, smaller, more strange, or even mutated. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Talk about opening up the mythology. That would certainly do it. So, once again, now it's time for all of you to leave your thoughts, opinions, and theories down below in the Great White Void. Tell me what kinds of stories you'd like to see for the future of the Dark Crystal. Until next we meet, take care, for Thra, for Jim, and I'll see you guys back here for the next video very soon.